topic now. With a presidential election just a few months away, the world is turning its gaze towards Africa's largest economy. Nigeria is without a doubt a significant player in geopolitics, but it's clear that persistent roadblocks have to be removed if we are to attain the stamp of approval that is needed to advance our prosperity. Well, for more on this, let's now speak with Afolabi Andu, chairman of the Nigerian British Business Forum. Mr. Afolabi joins me from Lagos. Mr. Afolabi Andu, thank you so much for taking your time out to join me on Channel's Business Global. You recently conducted your annual Nigeria British Business Forum. Channel's Business Global had exclusive access. I've got to say, you did have a lot of big hitters there, but it took place at a time when I would say Nigeria's perception across the globe is waning slightly. It does ebb and flow, but I think there is a lot of attention on Nigeria at the moment, of course, because we are Africa's largest economy. The elections that are taking place in February, the world will be watching. What are, would you say, some of the stumbling blocks that are stopping Nigeria from having that stamp of approval, which we deserve to have?
Well, first of all, let me thank you, Juliana, for inviting me to be on the program this morning. And yes, following the Nigerian Global Economic Summit, I think it's important for the viewers to also appreciate the reason why we did host that event. It wasn't really for a local point of interest in terms of gathering businesses or professionals within Nigeria, but it was from a global perspective. Just to let it be very clear that we have a significant number of Nigerian professionals, entrepreneurs, who equally are major stakeholders within the whole entity called Nigeria. And they do want to have their say. They want to provide some form of support in terms of economic direction, in terms of investment, in terms of expertise input. So that was the real essence of hosting the event. Now, secondly, just to respond to that concern that has just been presented in terms of investors taking a keen look at Nigeria at this point in time. Of course, it's not news. We all know exactly what our issues are. We know that the issues of security is a major factor. We also know that corruption is at an industrial scale, and it's really not news to any of us. But despite all that, what I think is really the biggest bane in terms of us being able to convey our message in the most effective way is our poor communication strategy. Now, the world, as we all know today, is going through a lot of challenges. There is a war going on between Russia and Ukraine. It's impacted severely on the world economy. Yeah. And let's be honest with ourselves. Any big economy will be looking for a way out. How can we scale up in spite of all these issues? The United Kingdom is going through possibly the worst economic situation for many, many, many years. And we also know that the issue of the energy crisis is one major factor. But we have all that it takes in Nigeria to break the gap. So it's about posture. Juliana, to me, my view is that it's about our posture. It's about our leadership posture. If we can engender confidence by the stance that we take, whether it's in terms of our policy, economic policy direction, or in terms of just allaying fears and just giving assurance that we are working very hard at making sure that all those points of concern are being addressed. I can guarantee you that not only would we start to experience some form of interest in the country, but commitment. But saying that also, as I conclude on your question, there is movement. The companies, foreign companies, are looking at Nigeria closely, and they're looking at Nigeria not just on small-scale investment, but on medium to large-scale investment. So it's relatively all good.
We've spoken on this programme extensively about the importance of the diaspora, and I think, you know, the remittance figures speak for themselves, don't they? But then, do you think it's fair to say that sometimes Nigerian policymakers have this kind of love-hate relationship with the diaspora? On one hand, you know, we love the income, we love the ideas, but on the other hand, don't push too much. Don't go past your boundaries, because this isn't Britain, this isn't America, this isn't Singapore. How can we make that relationship work better, in your opinion?
Well, you know, I think it really starts off by us, first of all, agreeing that we are a part of one major corporate entity. So if we can, in our mind, you know, psychologically recognize that every single Nigerian, whether you're in the diaspora, whether you are home-based, the interest has got to be on a focal point of Nigeria, to make Nigeria that great nation that we all desire, that nation that we dream to be effectively a leader within the League of Nations worldwide. Now, once that is established, particularly between the key groups, the leadership in the country, as well as those in the diaspora, the bridge will start to be more effective. Yeah. So we would not see those who are abroad as them of that lot. And in the same manner, those who are out here will not start feeling sense of apprehension when they're looking to venture out here in Nigeria. The bottom line at the end of the day is the interest. If the interest is about Nigeria, those issues will not even be considered at all. Yes. We know that, you know, the great nations of the world are largely in the diaspora, you know, whether it's in India, whether it's in Brazil, whether it's in Israel. A lot of the people who have supported development are out there in the diaspora. We need each other. We all need each other. Those who are out there in the diaspora, possibly by virtue of exposure, they gain some more knowledge in terms of 21st century standards. And these are things that we need, whether it's in our health sector, whether it's in education, whether it's in our agribusiness, all sectors. We need to be our part. We need to be recognized as a 21st century environment.
Afolabi Andu, Chairman, Nigerian British Business Forum. I could go on and on with those titles, but I think you'll allow me to just use that one for now. Thank you so much for joining me on Channels Business Global. We look forward to having you in the studio sometime soon. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thanks.